Hi, so this is our next episode of the Preceptorship podcast. We're going to do things a little bit different, aren't we, Harry?
We're going on tour.
Very exciting. So today we're going to talk to some of our internationally educated nurses that have come here from far and wide, and also talk to our international team a bit later, but we'll introduce them later. You ready?
Yeah, shall we do it?
Lovely. So here we are on one of our other wards with the lovely Josby.
Hello.
Josby, can you just share when you came to the UK and where you are in your preceptorship journey?
Yeah, my name is Josme. I just came here on August 3rd of 2024. And when I came here, as I'm from India, everything is new to me. And the things we need to do, the wards, it's different from our place.
Yeah.
So when I started with the preceptorship classes, it was very interesting. And also it's give me more information, how I can cope up with the things in UK, especially here. So I think the classes give me more information and knowledgeable, and also it was very interesting. Yeah, so I studied many things, like I attended many special classes like diabetic, end of life care, and simulation classes.
Did you like the simulation?
Yeah, especially I like the simulation classes because there we will do like imitating the things. So the like you all help us. So how we can cope up, especially in an emergency situations.
Yeah.
And like we will get different scenarios. So it helps me more how I can do the things here. Yeah,
Brilliant.
everything
Thank you
was interesting.
so much. Hi, John Paul. Thank you for agreeing to talk to us. Are you happy to just share sort of when you came to the UK and sort of when you kind of finished your preceptorship?
I arrived in the UK at June 2022. Then, I started actually working in the ward. Finished the requirement to be a band 5. I started around August.
Yeah.
So like 2 months of review. Then I started preceptorship on that day. Then until I finished around September of last year.
Yeah.
2023.
What would you say was the most useful thing for you about being a part of the preceptorship program?
It guides us really it's the same scenario with the ward, what we're in terms of clinical decision making, skills wise, and everything.
Yeah.
So it's also a camaraderie with the other staff in the ward that it usually help us having communication and also doing everyday doing the duty in the ward. Really helps.
Really helped.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Okay.
Hello, today we are in Brighton Hospital and I've just come across Richard, who is one of our preceptees here. Hello, you alright?
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
Thanks for taking time out of your day to talk to us today. Could you tell us a little bit about your journey in preceptorship?
I came from the community. Just
okay.
kids, yeah. So, I mean, before I came in, I was thinking, how am I going to fit in? So I thought, well, I mean, the hospital, you always fit in when you get to practice on the ward. But I got here and the pace was too fast on the ward.
It's busy ward.
You barely get people to give you that attention you needed. So, I mean, I needed a safer space, all right, that you can actually know how practical you could perform. So, I mean, the preceptorship has helped a lot. I mean, most of the days I found was very personal to my practice on my work.
Great.
I mean, diabetes and stuff. One of the days. So it helped a lot. That was when I understood how you treat DKA, the confidence to, I mean, tell a doctor that you think he should do this, you think he should, prescribe that. So it's been very much helpful to me.
Oh, that's great. Do you have a favourite day of your module that you liked?
I think it's the deteriorating patients.
The simulation.
Absolutely. I mean, I loved it. It's about how to clinically judge when should I press the, medical button.
Yeah.
When should I call C-Court?
Yeah.
When should I do my own assessment and inform a doctor?
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
And for anyone that's thinking of coming into reception or starting here in the trust, do you have any words of advice?
Anybody that is wanting to come to their acute, or anybody who wants to enroll in the preceptorship, is going to be help. It's about confidence, how you integrate yourself to the practice here, or in the trust. So it's very helpful.
That's great. I'm really, really pleased. Thank you so much.
So my name is Jo. I came to UK in the month of June 10, exact date 10, 2022. And I have started my preceptorship in the next month, the coming month, it was July 2022. And I finished it within 1 year and we got graduated.
Yay.
Gemma ma'am was the boss, our boss. And
Yeah, what was the most useful thing did you find was very useful about having that year?
yeah, I would say everything. The beginning started with an induction class. Us international nurse, I was really anxious about the whole setting of the hospital and the NHS. So in induction was really helpful to know the hospital and to know the working of the whole hospital, the departments and everything, and all the classes, that is day 1 to day 7, was focusing on 8 subjects, including
We did simulation.
yes, we did multiple simulation, which was really a new technique for us.
Was it?
Yes, completely new technique, learning things. So I'm not used to this interactive classes. It's like seminar, sitting subtle, listening to things. But the interactive sections were very useful, where we are not passive, we are always active. So we were always an active listener as well as a learner, where we are the important people. We won't be bored at all.
You're important. And it's so great to see you in the blues.
Oh, thank you, Max.
So, Harry, that was fun, wasn't it?
Really fun. That was great.
Yeah. So, as you know, you've just seen us be out and about chatting to some of our internationally educated nurses that are either currently in the preceptorship programme or have just finished. And with us now, we've got our amazing international nursing team. Who support all our nurses with their OSCE process. Well, we'll let them tell you.
Absolutely.
Netsie, lovely to have you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting us. Yeah.
Are you guys happy just sort of briefly introduce yourself, and then each of you, and then perhaps Netsie, if you can just say what your team does and how we work together.
Yes, yeah, we can do that. So my name is Netsia. I've been working with internationally educated nurses for 8 years now. And I've been in this country for quite some time, about 23 years now. I've got different, medical surgical background as well. And our team is actually composed of 4. Fiona is our boss, Fiona Killing, and I've worked with Belle, Christian, and Claudine as well. So yeah, we work collaboratively with the Preceptorship, which we're going to discuss that one shortly.
Absolutely. And Belle and Claudine, you both were part of Preceptorship when you guys.
Yes, we were.
Yes.
Had the privilege of joining the team for quite some time.
And that was how long ago was?
Mine was about 2020, during the peak of the pandemic.
That's what I was remembering.
I remember doing the teams and all that, but later on, after quite some time, maybe after a year, we did the graduation and all that. So it's good that it's all physical and we're able to engage and socialize around. So
So obviously, we really value all our colleagues at University Hospital Sussex, don't we? And it's great to have people from so many different countries. What do you like most about your job?
For me, it's quite a fulfilling job because you manage to help out those people who came into the country. Most of them are first-timer coming into the country and leaving their country and traveling halfway around the globe and experiencing the UK way of nursing. And then when you teach them about OSCE and taking the OSCE in Ireland, coming back with a pass and congratulations, you felt like you've done something correctly, not just for them, but also their family, because as of the moment, their life depends on the OSCE. So if they pass their OSCE, that would be very, very good for them. That means that they can bring their family here in UK and settle. Yes, and they can settle, which is the good thing about it. And it's quite sad if they're not going to pass it. Obviously, it's not the end of the world because they've got 3 attempts to do that, but we don't focus on the reset, but we focus on the first time takes that they can do their best, because it's very scary kind of exam though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And everything else to contend with as well, being in a different country, away from family, sometimes babies,
all the adjustments,
financial stress. So you have a lot. Yeah, there's a lot
to deal with.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And so you guys obviously have support these nurses pre-PIN, as you sort of were saying about that OSCE process, which is the exam, that sort of objective structure. What's it sound like again? Objective structured clinical
examination.
exam, which
know that.
as you yeah, and that's what they need to pass to get their PIN, and then we sort of have this bit of handover transition period as they come into their post-PIN preceptorship period. But I always feel like once they're in your gang, they never leave it.
It's true.
I think when they pass the exam already, they want to stay longer. But during the training and all that, they feel like it's dragging in a way, because I know it's hard work for them as well.
Yeah, it's like for you, this whole like family, which is what I think a lot of our...
It's the food, Gemma.
Well, it's the food.
That's true.
That is why I like working with the international.
We've just got noodles today and spring rolls.
Where are
Because we
they?
just have an interview. It's actually in the office.
What would you say is that, I guess from your experience of doing preceptorship and also keeping in touch with all these nurses that you help obtain their PIN and seeing them go through preceptorship, what would you say is the most beneficial part of that year, that first year post-PIN?
If I'm going to say per my experience, looking back, I would say that it was really nice to have some sort of reassurance that I would be taken care of. Although I came from a background with a clinical experience from our home country, but obviously to respect and kind of follow the guidelines here and to be well aware of it for the first year as kind of my foundation for my future practice and my upcoming years as a nurse was really great looking back.
Yeah.
So for me, it's something that should be adapted globally even.
Yeah.
To be taken care of by Ma'am Netsi in the beginning and to know about the OSCE, because when you learn the OSCE, it's not just about basic practice, it's for university standards. So as internationally educated nurse, it's very nice for us to streamline our practices to the UK standards and then into the local policies, which is now for the preceptorship team. So it's coming all full circle, and that gives me the security and reassurance as a nurse. And I hope that's how most preceptors feel as well.
It's the same for me as well. I mean, during my time when I worked in IEN before, so every time I see Cass, I was like, Cass is here. I got that feeling and then that support and all that.
Yeah, that support that you see in the clinical area is part of what we do.
Yes,
as preceptorship,
that is
isn't
when
it?
we walk onto the ward where we get that, and that's really nice because we have time to. That's because we embody that. We don't have although our job is busy, but obviously we don't have a lot
Different
to do
type of
like the
busy,
managers do. So we do come on. We are that face, and they see and they're like, oh yes, and they can.
Yeah. Although sometimes there is a why are you here? What have I done? Brilliant. Thank you guys. Did you have any other questions, Harry?
What advice would you give someone coming into preceptorship from international background?
That can be your question. You can go.
You've saved the last question for me. So tips for those who's just joining the preceptorship. Just basically enjoy the trip because it is a nice experience. We've always told our international educated nurses that once they come into the trust, they've been working as a nurse for quite some time, but of course there are some changes that they need to get used to, and it's the preceptorship and transition program that will help them make it easier for them to transfer the knowledge that they've had or they've gathered back in their home country and then put it into practice in this country. So and of course don't be afraid to ask questions, because that's one thing that I have remembered all the time I was in the preceptorship. If I've got any queries, I just have to send an email, get in touch with a person who can answer this question. I get easily signpost to someone who can answer those questions.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Just to add up, actually, we're doing an interview as well today, and with our healthcare support worker wanted to become a UK nurses. And we talk, and sometimes you talk about preceptorship, and we ask them afterwards what's the best thing about it. They always mention that, preceptorship is very important because obviously they know where to come to if they need a hand, and it's very vital really for transitioning into a healthcare support worker to the preceptorship, because what you're teaching in preceptorship, aside from obviously we give the pastoral support post OSCE, but obviously with preceptorship you're trying to teach them how can they do basic nursing skills to looking after an acute patient, to transitioning into how to escalate patient as well when they're deteriorating. So I think that kind of transition is very important for overseas nurses. Because when they work, even though they work as a healthcare support worker, they still need that basic nursing skills, because it fades out, because some of them been a healthcare support worker for 10 years. And the clinical skills is not there anymore. Sometimes they forget it. So doing that transition in the preceptorship helps them a lot, boosts their morale again to do the proper way or the UK way of looking after a patient, from not so sick to being, to going to deteriorating patient really, which is very, very important. And I think that's what the normal feedback that they gave us, which is very important.
It's almost like when you've been out of the nursing setting for a little while, it's like when you ride a bike, you don't forget, but you might be a bit shaky at first, won't you? And see, these analogies that I'm coming up with all by myself.
But that's really true though. It's very, very important that we gave them that kind of support, because obviously, and that will help with our retention as well, because we're recruiting. We wanted to do some more retention as well, because if we don't look after them well, the possibility is they're going to leave. But if we look after them well, from the time they become UKRN to transitioning to preceptorship, then they know for a fact that there are people behind them to support them all throughout, no matter what.
Brilliant.
It's really important that first.
Definitely. The first year is really, really
That's
important.
why we're still here. We're all
Yes.
products from OSCE
Preceptorship.
preparation and preceptorship.
Brilliant. Thank you guys
Thank
so
you so
much for your
much.
time.
Lovely.